Hey guys, I'm LDamon86 and welcome to a somewhat improvised episode of Flores Watch. It's a little bit late here, I wasn't really going to do a video, but I thought, you know what, stuff's happened this week, so I thought I'd just, check in and give my opinion on it. Just want to say that Flores Watch is this series has kind of gone from telling you guys about him, what's going on with him, blah blah blah, but now it's famous, basically, and now everyone knows everything about him as I find out. So now it's kind of progressed from me letting you know about him to pretty much just me giving kind of like my opinion on what I think is happening. Straight from when he was picking his national team through to what's going to happen with his club career. So yeah, so it's pretty much just my opinion now. It's not really me telling you things that you probably don't already know, although some people might not know, but yeah, I just wanted to clear that up. So basically, stuff's happened this week. So obviously, Arsenal are in the US at the moment on their preseason tour. I don't know where they are now, Baltimore, I think, or somewhere. I don't know, but they've got a game in Orlando, I think, coming up this weekend. So cool. Obviously, everyone knows that Flores was not involved. None of the U23s except for one. Patino wasn't involved. Hutchinson didn't go. Flores didn't go. One under 23s player went, and I think he was one of the wing backs or right back maybe. I can't remember. Um, Pretty diabolical, to be honest with you. So my opinion on that really is that with Flores, like my last video, I said, look, if he's involved in this US tour, then odds are he's going to stay and he's going to play in the first half of the season, which is paramount to him because obviously Qatar's happening in November. So the first half of the season is pretty much this next 6 months, 4 months, 5 months. They're going to be probably could be the biggest of his career. So any number of things could happen. So I was like, okay, if he's going to go to the tour, he's going to pretty much stay and play and get his first team debut, play somewhat regularly in the cup games, most likely, and then may or may not go to Qatar, and then in January go on loan for the rest of the season. So he didn't go, obviously, as I've said, which is strange. Not just because it's him, but nearly, pretty much all of the U23s didn't go, which is weird. Pre-season's normally when the under-23s get a real go, and they're in amongst the first team, and they get games in the myriad of pre-season games. I think Arsenal got 5 or so games in pre-season. One in Germany that they've already done. I can somewhat understand why he didn't go to Germany because it was just a one game. And then we've got a lot of attacking players still. Pepe could still leave, etc., etc. So, but this US, I think there's 3 games or 2 games. I can't remember. There's more than one anyway. So there's more opportunity for him to have gotten a run out. That obviously hasn't happened. So that caused a kind of bit of a crap storm on Twitter for a bit. And then there's a kind of a parallel story in Hutchinson going to Chelsea, which has completely annoyed me. I'm kind of over it now. Like, it is what it is. Good luck to him. He's going to need it because Chelsea are not a club that play their youth teams. Conor Gallagher will be able to contest to that. So, yeah, he left. Everyone's like, well, not everyone. People are saying, well, Flores could leave, and it is possible. To be honest with you, the difference is that Hutchinson only had a year left in his contract, and Arsenal were apparently negotiating with him, trying the game to renew, with an eye of either playing him in the cup games or sending him out on loan. For whatever reason, he's decided, nah, I'm going to go. And he's gone to the worst club possible. I mean, if he'd gone to a Palace or Fulham or another London club, not except for Spurs, QPR maybe, then he would have gotten a real shot. If he'd gone to Palace, he would have had a real shot at their first team. Now, there's no way in hell he's playing for the first team, Chelsea. pretty much ever. What I can imagine, what I've heard is that they've offered him a lot of money, a lot more than Arsenal are going to offer him, and they probably already have a loan deal lined up for him. So it is what it is. So it's different. So Hutchinson and Flores are different. In contract wise, Flores is on a contract until 2025, whereas Hutchinson only had a year left in his contract. So Arsenal were very limited, no options for Hutchinson, whereas Flores, I'll get into his contract situation in a minute, but basically they're different players, different situations. There is an upside for Hutchinson leaving, and that is Flores is now undisputedly the best player in the U23s now. Him and Hutchinson were kind of vying for that top spot, and they were pretty much rivals in that regard. Now he's undisputed, so if he stays, he may not stay, but if he stays, then he's, apart from Patino, I think, Aziz is going to go out on loan or leave. Sounds like that leaves Flores, who's the best player in the youth team. So he could get a run out in the cup games. He could go out on loan. That would basically, if he goes out on loan, I'm really totally fine with that. I was having a conversation with a mate of mine on Twitter, and it kind of brought home to me that there's two different conversations. There's multiple conversations about Flores, to be honest with you. I'm trying to stay focused on one at a time. So basically, he's the best player in the youth team now, so that kind of might make it a lot easier for him to get picked for games, maybe picked for benches or come off the benches or whatever. So maybe that's a benefit for him. The downside is he didn't go with Mexico's U20s to wherever to qualify for the Olympics, and obviously they didn't. He turned that down. It's reported, and it's most likely true, that he turned it down because Arsenal said, "Hey, you're going to be part of our preseason. You're going to be involved in the first team in our preseason. We want you here. So don't go to Mexico." Now, Flores, I think his main focus, his only focus really is Qatar. I think he really wants to go there. Whether that's a realistic ambition or not, I have my doubts about. But blatantly obvious that that's what he's thinking. He's thinking about Qatar. Probably would have liked to have gone to the U20s and played in an actual competition with them. But he's thinking, this could get me into the first team at Arsenal Football Club. Flores knows that playing in the Arsenal's first team is his best way to Qatar. That's undoubted. And he could go to an Eredivisie club or a Belgian club or a lower La Liga club. And I don't think it's quite that high. If he's in their first 11s versus Arsenal's first 11, I think Tata Martino pays more attention to Arsenal's first 11, in my opinion. You could disagree with that. I really don't care. There are people that disagree with that, and whatever. It's cool. So, yeah, he wanted to basically, I think, fight for his place. And he's got, as consistent with what he's been doing, he's consistently, out of the last 2 years, prioritised Arsenal over Mexico. Because at the time, I mean, Mexico is the only country he's ever represented. So he's like, if Arsenal asked, can you stay here? But he stayed. He chose to stay at Arsenal instead of going. He had an opportunity to go to Canada, I think, or go to a Canada camp or whatever, and he turned it down because he wanted to stay at Arsenal. So that's consistent. He's consistently chosen to stay at Arsenal, then go to Mexico if the conflict arises. There is a report. I think it's something that somebody's kind of just seized on and said without actually really getting any proof, that he's upset because obviously I think Arsenal may have promised him that you're going to be part of our preseason, so don't go to Mexico, and obviously he didn't go, so he's understandably annoyed. Now, if it's, I don't think it's true, really. I think he would have come out and said something. I think his dad might have come out and said something, although I think his dad's kind of learned now not to say too much. At the beginning, he was saying quite a lot on Twitter, and now his dad's not saying very much at all about Marcelo. Silvana a little bit, Tatiana a little bit, because they're still, Silvana's just gone to Monterrey, and Tatiana's still quite low down in Chelsea's system, but with Marcelo is kind of quiet now, so. But I still think one of them would have said something. There would have been signs that he was disgruntled or pissed off or whatever. But it's possible. I mean, it's very possible. There's a reason why people are writing articles about it, because it's an easy assumption to make. We don't know if Arteta sat him down and said, "Look, you're going to be part of my team. I'm just going to take this team to US. I already know what you're capable of. I've already seen you train loads of times. You've trained with the first team loads of times, especially towards the end of the last season. I know what you can do. The US trip doesn't affect me paying you in the first half of the season." So he may have assurances that we just don't know about. Possible. I mean, Arteta and Flores do talk, and they have talked, and it's painfully obvious that they communicate. So there's no reason why they haven't had a conversation. But on the other hand, he could very likely be like, "Hey, what the hell? I could have been in Mexico. Maybe I could have gotten them into the Olympics. I missed this opportunity because I was told this and it hasn't happened." Um, we'll have to wait and see. I mean, at the moment, he's got 3 years left in his contract. Arsenal don't need to sell him. I reckon they're probably really looking at loaning him out, whether it's now or January. But he's a Barcelona fan. No, I don't know whether he's a Barcelona fan or whether he's a Messi fan, but he's kind of like that kind of fan. If he is pissed off, and Barcelona say, "Hey, Arsenal, we'll give you 3 million for him. We'll give you 2 million for him." I think Arsenal take it, and I think he definitely takes it, especially if he turns around and says, "Look, I don't want to be here anymore. You've pissed me off. You've ruined my preseason. Blah blah blah. I want to go to Qatar. Blah blah blah. I want to play for Barcelona. Blah blah blah." I think Arsenal take it because the Arsenal youth system now suddenly is massively full. They need to get rid of some players, and I think that's one of the reasons why some of these players were supposed to be going into the first team. And then some others going out on loan, some others being sold. Like Beereth, Christian Beereth is killing it over in the Eredivisie at the moment. Can't remember what Eredivisie team he's playing for. He's doing really well over there, so that's cool. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is the duality conversation. So I was having an argument / conversation with a really good mate of mine on Twitter. We were just talking. I won't name him because I don't want to name names, but we were talking about the fact that loan would be better for him than staying at Arsenal, blah blah blah. And I suddenly realised we were having two different conversations where I was thinking in terms of Qatar, whereas he was thinking in just terms of general. In general, yes, it's better for him to go out on loan because he's probably, even if he gets his first team debut, he's not going to get that much game time with Arsenal unless he really absolutely kills it. And even then, he's got Martinelli, Smith Rowe, Pepe at the moment, any other winger that we bring in. He's got all them to kind of compete against, so he's going to be limited no matter what. So yes, development wise, hell yeah, I really want him to go out on loan because he's still an Arsenal player. He's still contracted with us till 2025. He can go out on loan, kill it somewhere in Eredivisie or whatever, and then score a whole bunch of goals, and then come back next summer and hopefully be ready for the first team. But I was thinking about in terms of Qatar, because the weird thing is I don't think he's going to go to Qatar. I've never really thought of him realistically going to Qatar. I'm not that confident. I'm not confident at all. I don't think it's ever going to happen. I don't think it will ever happen. That's what pisses me off, because I've been following this kid for 2 years, making videos about him for 2 years. My goal, and there's a video here somewhere in this playlist. My goal for him at the beginning of last season was to break it into the under 23s, because this time last year he was in the under 18s. He was coming back off a fairly decent injury, which stalled his progress for the 2 seasons ago, basically. 2 seasons ago, he got injured right at the end, missed the last couple of months of the season, and then came back for the preseason last year. Whereas he probably would have been the under 23s the whole of last season. So he came, started this season, last season just gone. He started in the under 18s, and I was like, well, I'll try to be in the U23s. Because once he's in the U23s, he's in and around. He's as close as he can get to the first team. As we saw when he got his bench appearance against Palace in the Premier League. So that's my train of thought. So yeah, I mean, I don't think I've never thought he was a guitar. So my goal at the beginning of last season was get to the under 23s. Finish this season in the under 23s, and then you never know, alone, or you can go into the first team, or you'll have first team opportunities. Anything can happen when you're in the under 23s. Compared to the under 18s, that was it. I wasn't even dreaming. I mean, at the time, we didn't even know what national team he was going to represent. And I think it's fair to say that 80% of Twitter, L3 in Twitter, didn't know who he was or barely knew who he was. He pops up, plays for Mexico, and suddenly, boom, he explodes. Everyone's like, who's this kid? He's at Arsenal. Wow, that's great. You know, top team, top league. He's been trained at a decent, I would say the best academy in England, because we actually give chances to our first team. And it explodes, and then everyone starts forming their opinions. There is an anti-Arsenal thing on Twitter right now. I think if he'd been at Man United's academy, I don't think half of the arguments I've had in the last couple of months would have happened. But in the midst of the last 6 months or so, since Christmas, since January, when he first burst, within a week, really, he burst onto the under 23s, scored a couple of goals. He then went and played the under 21 game, scored a couple of goals in that cup game, and then he went and played, got his debut for Mexico in like a month or so, couple of weeks, a month, something like that. A lot happened in the space of a couple of weeks, and that's when it exploded. And in amongst all that swirling tornado, somebody at some point tweeted out, "Hope he goes to Qatar." And then, boom, everyone's like, "Yeah, he needs to go to Qatar. He needs to go to Qatar. He needs to go. He needs to go. We need him in Qatar." Blah blah blah. And it's become such a thing now, where it's kind of warped my own opinion of him as a player and what I think his trajectory is going to be and has been. So I think of everything now in terms of Flores, in terms of Qatar. So I'm thinking, well, if he goes out on loan, I don't think a loan move is going to make Tata go, yeah, cool, I'll take it to Qatar. But if he was playing, if he made it into, and it's a big if, he made it into Arsenal's first team, that makes Tata go, Premier League player, kind of have to take her. At least take her, maybe not play her, but I'll have to take her. Bigger squad as well for the World Cup. So I think about everything in terms of Qatar. If Qatar ceased to exist, if the World Cup ceased to exist and it wasn't happening, I 100% would be going, I need him to go out on loan anywhere, virtually. I prefer a Championship because that's a good training ground for Premier League players. Just is. There's countless players that have done that. But anywhere, really. He's 18 years old. He's a kid. Like, he can afford to spend a season out virtually anywhere, score a bang of goals, and get some assists, get some training, play against men for 12 months and come back. That would be cool. But Qatar's warped my brain now, and I'm thinking that if he goes to FC20, for example, I always use him as an example, I don't know why. I think it's because Tecatito was there. But if he goes to FC20 and scores 5 goals and gets 5 assists, I don't think between August and October, I don't think Tata's going to go, yeah, well, I'll take it in. But if he goes to Arsenal, plays 6 games, scores 4 goals, gets 2 assists, and has a league appearance, I think Tata goes, okay, I'll take her. That's most likely. That's more likely, in my opinion. I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. Honestly, I think that is the best route for him to go to Qatar. But I just don't think it's going to happen. I've never thought, but was there a real chance that he could go to Qatar? I just don't see it. In 4 years' time, he's going to be 22. Then I see it. Because at 22, he's going to be phenomenal in 4 years. Like, if he continues the way he's gone, he's going to be phenomenal. He's going to be such a good player. So at the moment, that's my opinion on pretty much all the strands of thought that I have in Flores right now. I don't think he's going to go to Qatar. I don't think he's going to be sold unless he really pushes it. He must be really pissed off and really force it. If he really forces it now, he could get a move out. But I don't think that happens. I don't think he's going to push that. I think he'd be quite happy for a loan, I think. Well, I think if it was up to him, he'd play for Arsenal's first team. Because, you know, you say what you like about Arsenal, you can banter Arsenal you like, but it has clout. And I think it has clout with Tata Martino, who loves Liga MX players and he loves MLS players. Well, to a point, to a certain age. I always use Arteaga and Vasquez as examples because they are at clubs that a lot of people want Flores to go to. Which, in normal circumstances, non-World Cup year, I would be keen as. If he goes to again, awesome, sweet. Hopefully he scores a lot of goals and learns and, you know, gets a lot of training and fitness done and regular game time and all that crap. But I don't think him going to Genk's going to make him go to Qatar. I don't think that makes it any more likely that he's going to go to Qatar. And I think that's why he didn't go to Mexico. I think he knows that Arsenal, if I make it into this Arsenal team, that's my best route to Qatar. Because Tata Martino has the outrage that Tata would get if he doesn't call up a Premier League player. If he gets his debut and plays in the Premier League game, he is by default a Premier League player. Or an Arsenal first team player, because he'll be playing in the cup games. So, yeah, there's an under-21 game going on right now. Apparently he's not involved in at all. Bit of a worry, because as far as I know, he's not injured. Doesn't have anything else going on, as far as I know. So, bit of a mystery is why he's not involved in that, especially the fact that he's not with the first team. Maybe he's angry for a move. Maybe he's having a sulk. Maybe he's injured. Maybe maybe they've lined up a loan move for him. He's just busy negotiating with that. Whatever happens is going to happen soon, I think, and it's going to happen out of the blue, like Hutchinson did. It just came out of nowhere. So, oh, okay. But I didn't know, to be fair, when Hutchinson broke, I didn't know that he had a season left. 1 year left of his contract, should I say. We've got Flores until 2025, unless he really, really forces a move out. So Barcelona could come in, like I said. If Barcelona in particular come in, I think he'll go. But we'll have to wait and see. There's every opportunity that he's not going to be an Arsenal player come August. And I'm aware of that, depending on what club he goes to, and if he goes to a first team lower Premier League club, then fair enough. Like a Crystal Palace, I think he'd do well at Crystal Palace. Maybe Fulham, because they've just got promoted. I think he'd do well there. I don't know. Whether he's not going to want to go on loan so that he can still be around for the first team Arsenal opportunity. It could even be that he starts and plays half the season in the under 23s. I mean, that'll cause outrage. For me personally, I think he's outgrown the under 23s now. This time last year, I would have been insane to say that, because he was in the under 18s and he was still a 17-year-old kid. But now he's outgrown them. He's bigger than that league. He's proved it by the goals he scored, the assists he has. He needs to be playing with grown-ups now, whether that's with Arsenal or somewhere else. So yeah, I'll end it with basically saying I'll if I were you, I would give up him going to Qatar, because I just don't think it's going to happen. It would have to fall exactly right for him to go, and I just don't see it happening. I don't see, like I said, I don't see him going on loan to a lower league somewhere, and that make it more likely that he goes, which I don't. Tata has his favourites, he has his team, um, and I just don't think he's going to go, and I never have, and I've never quite understood why. I mean, I got accused the other day of forcing it, where I'm forcing him to be an Arsenal player, and I'm forcing people to be a fan of a Mexican at Arsenal, which is weird because people are forcing the fact that they want him to go to Qatar. They're forcing the idea that he's ready for Qatar, which I don't think he is. I would say that hardly anyone's a bigger fan of him than I am, because he's a Mexican player and he's at my club that I love. And even I still don't think that he's ready for Qatar. I don't think he's ready for a World Cup with the senior team of Mexico. Even if Mexico are bloody horrific right now in a lot of ways, I still don't think he's ready for that yet. And he doesn't need to be pushed. He doesn't need to be rushed. In 4 years, I mean 3.5 years, he's going to be 22. Maybe even 21. I can't remember. 21, 22. Like, by that time, he's going to be in the first team somewhere, and he's going to be scoring goals and whatever. He may even be in Arsenal's team. He may not be. He may be somewhere else. Like, I don't understand. Of course he's going to want to go to Qatar. It's every player's dream to go to a World Cup, but it's not the end of the world, you know. The sky's not going to cave in if Tata Martino goes, yeah, no, he's not going to Qatar. Like, it's alright. Alright, cool. He's going to go next time. 100%. So yeah, it's been my long ramble. It's just I had a lot of stuff to get off my chest. If you stuck it out this far, awesome. Well done. Well done. Thank you very much. It's just my opinion, you know. And like I said, if you disagree, then you can comment down. We'll have a talk if you want, unless you're too douchey. But nah, everyone on YouTube is awesome. Twitter can get a bit hairy, but everyone that comments on YouTube is awesome. So thank you for that. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. If he leaves, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. If he stays, then cool. If he goes out on loan, obviously I'll keep tabs on him and how he's doing there as well. So, but stuff's going to happen. He's either going to play in the Arsenal's first team come August, or he's going to go out on loan, or he's going to leave. 3 different things could happen, and it could happen next month or so. So we'll have to wait and see. So yeah, sorry for random, guys. I hope this clears up my mindset and my opinion, because you know, I know it is what it is. I mean, I've been accused of using Flores to kind of promote an audience, which is fucking hilarious. Like, I can't help the fact that I support Mexican national team. I support Mexico players. And finally, after so long, we have one in our club and being developed by us. Like, I'm not supposed to enjoy that. I don't understand how you can be an Arsenal fan and be like, yeah, nah, no, you need to leave. No, I don't want you at my club. Like, I just don't get it. You're either not really that bothered about Mexican players, or you're not really an Arsenal fan. I think it's a bit of the latter. It is what it is. If you love Arsenal, then you'd surely want him to stay and succeed. But unless you think it affects his chances of Qatar, but his chances of Qatar are very, very tiny anyway. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm just going to stop this one now. So, yeah, if you have any comments, leave them down below. Yeah, hopefully we'll have good news next time. But if it's bad news, it's bad news. If he leaves, then fair enough. You know, it is what it is. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. So, yeah, take it easy, guys. I'll come back when there's anything else to talk about. So, yeah, take it easy. Enjoy your weekend, and see you guys soon. Adios.